with a vengeance. Oh my God!
I got all that on video.
Alright, Sistas fans, now I know this is an unpopular opinion. I've said this many times here on the channel, mainly in regards to the character of Hayden. I'm not saying I'm the biggest fan of the character, but after reading a recent TV Line article, Chris Warren, aka Hayden's actor, gave going over the history of the character, his response to like fan reception, the fact that he loves people loathing Hayden in his punchable face, just like what Cheeto said about Gary in an interview a few weeks ago. He knows he's doing his job right, the more hate his character gets. But regardless, I get that there are a lot of Fatima, and notice I said Fatima fans, but I'm never going to champion the cause of someone doing illegal stuff, especially if they do it and they're wrong. And I mean, obviously you're wrong when you do that kind of stuff, but when you're wrong in what you're doing, in that, oh, I actually did this to Hayden because I thought he was the cause of Zach's misfortune, but it turns out that's not the case, because we have yet to find out if Fatima takes the baseball bat and tears up Hayden's apartment because he was the cause of Zach getting arrested. But regardless, the people who say, I mean, ever since this promo aired last night, so many people saying, man, Hayden's a little bitch, a little punk, and just going on and on in the comment section on the video when I posted it on Facebook and on Instagram. And I am not even going to say I'm sorry for saying so. I'm just going to say Hayden has every right to get arrested. Seriously, if somebody came to your home with a weapon and destroyed your vehicle, like busted windows out, hell, even flattened your tires, scratched your car, whatever, and then they trespass by barging their way into your home, people are like, well, she didn't break in, Hayden left the door wide open. That still doesn't mean she should have came in there. She rushed in there with the bat. Now, we don't know what the conversation is going to be like before she starts tearing the place apart, but like he said at work the next day, I got all that on video, and then the cops walk in. So if you were in Hayden's position and someone came into your place after tearing up your ride, they come into your home and just wreck stuff, what would you do? Would you have him arrested? I mean, if you did, wouldn't you be a punk, or, you know, any of the various names you call Hayden? And I know you're probably saying, well, it's different, Hayden deserves it. But yet again, this is obviously in regards to Zach's recent arrest, but that doesn't mean that Hayden is guilty. Even if he is guilty, this is certainly not the way to go about it, because you just put yourself in a very compromised position. You could argue that, well, what about the video footage? Well, yeah, it's at his home, which begs the question, Andy told Fatima that there are cameras in the parking lot, and this is going back to like early season 4, in response to the events of season 3, after, you know, the thugs beat him up in the car. And it was when she thought Hayden was dead and, you know, Fatima was going to get in trouble. Was there still video footage, you know, of the beating and whatnot? Like Fatima getting out of the car and Fatima punching Hayden first and those guys leaving him on the hood. So what happened to that? Was that a plot point that was just completely thrown to the wayside because of the fact that, oh, Hayden's not dead, it's okay? I don't know. Now you're probably wondering, well, Jeremy, why is Hayden calling the cops on Fatima in this scenario? Wouldn't he be afraid of her, you know, sending more guys after him? Well, here's the thing about that. If Hayden puts hands on Fatima, he's a monster for hitting a woman. So in this scenario, I don't think he's a punk. I think he's being far more intelligent than both Fatima and Zach. Fatima for just going over there with the baseball bat causing trouble, but at least Hayden's doing it the legal way. Just like later on in the season, we're going to see Zach, you know, attack Hayden at his job, leading to his arrest. So, I mean, you can call Hayden what you want. And look, like I said, I'm not here to cheer for Hayden. I'm not saying I'm a Hayden fan and I hate Fatima and Zach. But you got to admit, the way he handles things in terms of this situation, he's doing it a lot better than Fatima and Zach. They're basically playing into his hand. Like, the more they lash out against him, the more he's able to counter and get them in trouble. Well, I wouldn't say get them in trouble, but call the authorities for, you know, assault, trespassing, destruction of property, and the list goes on. Again, I love Fatima. Well, I love DeVal, Crystal, Chris, Cheeto, all the actors, but when it comes to the character, you gotta call them out when they do foul stuff. I don't care how much you love somebody. I mean, as much as I love Jasmine, she did some pretty messed up stuff, from pouring the urn of Gary's deceased mother into the gas tank of his ride and then setting it on fire. And, you know, not to be full-on Crystal Lee Naomi fanboy here, but you ever notice a lot of the things in the Oval and Sisters that they were done first by Jasmine? For example, falling from a very high rooftop to, you know, slam on the roof of a car. Jason did it at the White House, but that was recently. Jasmine did that all the way in season 1 of Sisters. Destroying the car of some man who you feel wrongs you. Hayden, he just got that done, you know, in the mid-season finale of season 4. Jasmine did that to Gary. Again, same episode, she fell from the rooftop onto the roof of a car. So, just throwing that out there. Jasmine did a lot of that stuff first. Alright, well, in any case, I feel like Hayden should not be dragged for doing what anybody would do in that situation. Because, like I said, if he, well, going to be honest here, if Fatima started, you know, swinging that bat, and let's say she hit Gary and or Hayden, what would you say if they physically responded? Like, you know, they pinned her to the ground. I'm not saying beating her, but basically like restraining her until the authorities come. How would you feel about that? That's 2 men ganging up on a woman. That's wrong. They some punks. They some bitches. But they were literally being attacked. Like, go back to the Jasmine and Gary altercation at the parking garage. Jasmine was wailing on Gary with that baseball bat like Harley Quinn in the Suicide Squad movie, the first one. And the only time he put hands on her was when he was like in a tug of war over the back and he backhanded her. But at that point, he had been hit like damn near half a dozen times by the bat. So in that case, it's like, nah, this chick ain't calming down. Again, I'm not condoning domestic violence, male on male, male on female, female, whichever way you want to look at it. I don't think anybody should put their hands on anybody. But there's also self-defense and self-preservation, you know? Especially if it's unprovoked, when the other person, like, again, I'm going to keep using the example. Go back to that episode where Gary and Jasmine got into the, you know, situation in the parking garage. Gary kept trying to walk away. It wasn't until she poured the urn into the car, you know, gas tank, did he react to it. So it's just one of those things where, you know, you can't play favorites. Wrong is wrong. Like, for example, if Hayden went over to Zach's new house and, you know, wrecked the place or something, obviously you would want his ass kicked. Why don't you feel that way about Fatima? Or maybe I shouldn't say that, but why do you feel a certain kind of way about Hayden calling the cops on her? I mean, same thing with Zach. Let's say Zach goes to the law firm, talks to Andy about, what's up, I haven't heard from Fatima, something wrong. Andy tells her what happened with Hayden, and then it's on. Or maybe Zach doesn't even have all the details. He just hears that she got arrested because Hayden called the police on her, and then as a result, Zach rushes him and attacks him, but he doesn't know the full story as to why Fatima got arrested. Obviously, I don't think it really matters. We know Hayden is a target for Zach ever since he found out about Hayden putting hands on her, when in complete, you know, honesty, that was self-defense. It's just one of those things where Hayden is playing with a level head as opposed to the 2 hot heads. And as a result, these jailbirds are going to keep going in and out of the system. And I don't hate Hayden for it. Like I said before, even if he was the guy who set up the Heather Lee Jennings thing, Fatima, that was just dumb. So I cannot condone foolish behavior. And we know she's going to get out of jail, but she deserves it. And I know I'm probably going to get a lot of flack for that, but it is what it is. So feel however you want to feel about me, but I don't give these characters passes whether I love them or hate them. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Like and subscribe, and I'll catch you all in the next video.